What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, this is looking kind of peak right now. We know AJ and Dubois, after Dubois' win over Hrgovic, was scheduled for, when was it? September 21st or something like that. Certainly September. And I said at the time, well, a few days ago, AJ must fight Dubois. And for some reason, in fact, I did a video. AJ himself said, oh yeah, I'll take them all on and I want them all. Oops. Next thing we know, a day ago, Eddie Hearns is on the blower with Radio Raheem talking about, well, we don't want that fight if it's not for Usyk. If we can't nick Usyk's belt, then we don't want that fight. Fair? What is this? Anyway, let's get to the bars.
You know, who knows? But there's so many great fights to be made.
I know I've got to let you run. I can't let you go, though, without talking a little bit Joshua Dubois. And Dubois, if he is the IBF interim champion, which he has become, is that fight essentially done?
No, look, we haven't decided who we're fighting next. We'll talk to AJ and His Excellency. The fight will be announced on the 26th of June. If the fight with Dubois is for a world title, that's likely to be the fight. If not, then it will probably be someone else. Could be Zhang, could be Parker. No decisions made yet.
What was AJ saying ringside while that fight was unfolding?
Fuck everybody up. He's ready to beat anybody, and he will beat anybody in the division.
So there's some conflicting things here. Yeah, if the belt's on the line, it would probably... Even then, though, he wasn't saying... Eddie Hearn did not say, if the belt's on the line, Dubois is getting it. He said, if the belt's on the line, it would probably be Dubois. And if it's not, it would probably be someone else. All I'm hearing is a bunch of problems. And I can't understand why. Turkey, if you're listening. Anyone around Turkey. The only fight that makes sense. We know Turkey wants to come to the UK. Yeah? So if Turkey want to come to the UK, it's never going to be AJ Zhang. Or damn sure AJ Parker. Who want to watch that again? I don't. I'm sorry. And I rate Parker, but the reality is, yeah, Zhang has a rematch clause with Parker anyway. And that whole situation, Wilder and Zhang, Zhang and Parker, that sets up for the WBO. So we got AJ and Dubois for the IBF, and Zhang and Dude and Parker for the WBO. Makes perfect sense. Put AJ Dubois on in September. Zhang didn't take no damage against Wilder. His big ass need to be in the gym anyway pretty soon. So let's say you want a 3-month camp, yeah? What's that? Well, that means Zhang gets 3 weeks off then. He fought last week. 3 weeks off. That's all you need. I'm sorry, people. It's elite sport here. You never need more than 3 weeks off. I don't care what no one says. No one else does that. Not one sport has 3 weeks off no one does that. No true professional sports person who takes their sport seriously needs more than 3 weeks off when you haven't taken damage. Now, if you're battered, you need rest, obviously. What? There's no damage Zhang had that ain't going to be recovered in 3 weeks. And no one's saying you have to jump back on and be red hot. But the fact you've had a camp, it's that building, that compounding fitness, which Zhang needs, all due respect. And even after 3 weeks off, you lose so much capacity, so much fitness in 3 weeks, you wouldn't believe it. When you're at the pinnacle of sport, taking 3 weeks off and doing nothing, I ain't going to lie, you're almost back to square one. That's how it feels. When I was swimming, we'd have maybe 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off at summer. You'd spend a year training straight through, maybe a week off in between, after 6 months-ish, 5-6 months. You compete middle of the year, compete end of the year. You take 3 weeks off and you come back and you'd be, all them gains you had, you literally have, takes you another 3 months of training to get back to where you left off. It's nuts. I don't know how it works out. I don't know why it's like that for, but that's what it is. You go back super quick. It takes so long to get and you lose it rapidly. When you're not exposing yourself to training, your body don't remember nothing. That makes sense. It doesn't hold on to that, whatever it is, that conditioning. It just doesn't. Otherwise, we'd all train really hard for 1 year at the start of our career and we'd just be fit forever. It don't work like that. Never mind compounded gains and trying to get better. So Zhang, you need 3 weeks off anyway. I wouldn't even give Zhang that. I'd get Zhang's ass back in there after a week. Have a week off and you back in there. Just ticking over or something. Doing something. Because you ain't got fitness like that. You need fitness like that. Anyway. Zhang Parker on the undercard of Dubois versus AJ. AJ versus Dubois on September 21st is what needs to happen. Yeah, there's no, oh, it probably won't be Dubois. Why not, Eddie? Turkey told everyone. Now, the original plan was AJ versus Wilder, but that's off now. Wilder smoked, he finished. So why not? Yeah, okay. We all would have loved to have seen AJ versus Wilder, but technically speaking, I don't think unless Wilder's pinging. If Wilder isn't pinging, he ain't gonna do nothing. Dubois is a more challenging and interesting fight. Dubois can put his hands together. Dubois has more than a party trick. Dubois is two-handed. He can hit hard with either hand. He's more technical. So it's really, especially on Dubois' form, it's a red hot fight. What do you mean probably? Probably, and the other thing is, we have to nick for it to even be most likely. Eddie Hearn said for AJ versus Dubois to be most likely, we have to nick Usyk's belt. Eddie Hearn. And I'm talking to AJ because he's responsible here. Eddie Hearn, he'll say anything to anyone. Eddie Hearn's the kind of cat, yeah, or he is the cat. He'll jump on the blower and suck Canelo off and slag Bivol off. Oh yeah, Bivol don't want to fight Carrot Top again at 175. And then Carrot Top buns Eddie Hearn off, and now Eddie Hearn's saying, yeah, Bivol beat Carrot Top's ass. So he gonna say whatever the party line is. AJ, you're a big old man. You need to come out and make a stand and say, listen man, I ain't fighting for no moody belt. When I get one of Usyk's belts, I'm gonna earn it. I don't want nothing given to me. Which are the bars. Eddie Hearn said there. Oh, AJ was telling me he gonna F them all up. AJ, what part of I'm gonna F them all up has to do with being, politically, probably not, probably. Hey man, listen, let me tell you something. AJ should be able to say, I want Dubois. Dubois is the next generation, and I'm fixing to wipe that one out as well. I'll wipe the next generation out September 21st, and then I'll handle this generation. Slash the old head. The old little head, Usyk. That's the same energy. Don't say, I'm going to F them all up, and then say, well, actually, no, if it's not for a belt. And I see where it's going, people. Do you want to know where this is going? Eddie Hearn let slip. He tried to cuck you, man, with the Dubois and Zhang. No. If you listen carefully, Eddie Hearn says, it could be Zhang, it could be Dubois, it could be Joe Parker. That's where it's going, people. Let me tell you now for free. If AJ fights Joe Parker, which no one wants to see, no one, and I hope Turkey, yeah, he the man. Turkey knows good boxing. However, there is an element of, not fangirlism, but we know AJ sits next to Turkey, so AJ and Turkey are close and whatever else. No Diddy, no Turkey. Yeah, they close. So whilst Turkey appreciates good boxing, Turkey knows, because he knows good boxing, he knows no one wants to see AJ versus Parker. Everyone wants to see Zhang AJ or AJ Dubois. But from the vibes I'm getting here is AJ versus Parker. Because Parker can't punch. Parker's been in there with Zhang and Wilder, couldn't hurt none of them. Dubois been in there with Hrgovic and popped his cherry for him. And had Hrgovic about to quit. That's the truth. Hrgovic was looking for a way out, people. And he stopped Jerome Miller. Parker ain't stopping nothing. You could put Parker in there with Jerome Miller. I'm not sure he'd stop him. He don't have that. Parker can't stop Chisora, etc., etc. He can't punch like that. He's not as much of a risk. But that's not the point, people. That's not the point now. We in the big leagues. You said you effed them all up. And it's about time you start showing it. AJ's already fought two bums. I'm not saying Parker's a bum. Parker's certainly a step up from Wallin and Ngannou, but it's not the point. Are you backing on or not? Dubois is a young dude who can lose in a bad fashion. He's beatable. Zhang runs out of gas. Listen, if AJ decides to fight Zhang instead of Dubois, it's not the next logical step for me. I do think the Dubois fight doesn't make sense. It's in the UK. Why wouldn't you do that? I think the Dubois, if I'm honest, I think the Dubois fight's probably easier. Zhang's just dangerous, man. He's dangerous. He's big as well. AJ will be the bigger and more athletic man. Not the bigger, sorry. He'll be the same size as Dubois, but he'll be more athletic. Zhang's very tight, and he's quick. I think Zhang's quicker than him. He's smarter, got a smarter boxing brain, and he's huge. AJ will be in there with a huge man who's not slow. Especially for 6 rounds. And it's always possible Zhang's going to turn up one day with a full gas tank. That's always possible. And yeah, he was waiting a bit too much against Wilder, to be fair. So there are holes in Zhang as well. Zhang is not perfect, but I mean, Dubois got the youth. Zhang wasn't fighting Wilder with the youth. But is it possible that Zhang felt some of them right hands and didn't fancy it himself? So again, boxing isn't triangles. It's so difficult to try and work out and whatever else. Ultimately, AJ fighting Zhang or Dubois, they both work, right? I'm not going to slag AJ off for fighting Zhang. I am going to slag him off though. I'm definitely going to slag him off if he fights Joe Parker. Because that is, of the three people, let's call a spade a spade. Even if Joe Parker was to beat AJ, how would he do it? On points. There's no knockout risk there at all, in my opinion. Parker never knocked no one out. No one. Who's he knocked out? Not Dillian White, who's got no chin. Not Andy Ruiz. Not AJ. Not Wilder. Not Chisora. Not the other dude. Zhang. No one. He damn sure ain't knocking AJ out. A confident AJ. There's an argument, well, YB, he's half back and he needs a step-up fight. The Parker fight's a mid-step before Zhang and Dubois, which is it's a true statement to make, but the point is, Dubois, he out here eating. Yeah, you've had 2 bum fights now. I'm not saying Parker's a bum, but you get the point. You've had 2 bum fights now. Are you on or not? Yeah? And what I will say is, if AJ fights Parker and doesn't knock him spark out like Joe Joyce did, and yes, I do believe this is a better Parker, evidently he's on much better floor form, but if AJ fights Parker and wins on points, forget it. It has to be knockouts. Zhang gets tired in the back straight. AJ has to knock Zhang out in the back straight. Dubois is breakable. He has to break him. These are the only ways he gets sniffing at Usyk. But it's the wrong mentality here. Yeah, trying to politic your way, and and this will really piss me off. If Eddie Hearn does Joshua versus Parker, and then Zhang versus Dubois, kind of thing, I guess it don't really matter. If AJ fought Parker and then Zhang fought Dubois, but it's like it's like the World Cup. AJ trying to figure out the easiest route here, right? Oh, I'll take Parker, and then Zhang and Dubois will beat each other up, and then I'll take the winner of that, maybe. If Usyk isn't free by then, kind of thing. Nah, wrong way of thinking of it. I said 2 days ago, AJ needs to be the one to take out the most dangerous guys right now. AJ needs to take out both of Dubois and Zhang before we can even sniff at Usyk. If AJ takes out Parker and then Zhang, and then didn't fight Dubois, forget about that, I'm not interested. Because you ain't got the right mindset. Are you cutting through dudes like Eddie Hearn said you was? Oh, he said I'm going to F them all. Or are you politicking? Picking little routes to get back to no. Whack. Yeah, AJ versus Dubois and Zhang versus Parker, September 21st. Headline, AJ Dubois, and co-main, Zhang Parker. And then the winner of both fight each other for the Usyk challenger. That's how the storyline's set up. Turkey comes out and says, hey, we got the card on. The winner of these two, the main and the co-main, they fight Usyk. And we got the bag for Usyk. To stop him going back to cruiserweight. That's the narrative I can get behind. Not AJ versus Parker. No. Because there's no excitement there. I'm actually excited. Zhang versus Parker, I'm excited. Zhang beat Parker beat Zhang recently. Zhang didn't turn up for it. There's something to prove there. We need to see it again. Maybe Parker going to piece up Zhang, and if so, so be it. We need to see that though. Dubois wants it. Dubois ain't calling out Parker. Dubois ain't calling out Zhang. Now you can say, well, AJ's the money fight. Give a fuck. On this current form though, AJ's dangerous. And all due respect, in terms of coin, if we rate things on a scale out of 100 million, it's not, but let's say AJ versus Dubois is 100 million, yeah? AJ versus Parker is 50. It doesn't have that feel to it. AJ versus Zhang, unless they can get it in China, then it's probably 100. It's probably an equal level, because the government will back it or whatever, it'll be a big coin event. But outside of that, as far as the West is concerned, or the Saudi, I count Saudi as the West now, if that makes sense, because it's not the East, is it? It's not, money isn't coming in and it's not generating buzz from the East. It's the West. However, the Chinese cats, they'll get behind Zhang if it's in China, kind of thing. So, but as far as the West goes, it's Dubois and AJ is double as big as Parker or Zhang. Really, even to this point, Zhang's only known by as a fringe dude, he's not got that. I can feel buzzes. I'm not saying Dubois has gone generic. Like, I'm not saying Dubois is McGregor now or Tyson Fury now. But Dubois, he's kind of getting there. Zhang he still feels a bit industry for some reason. Not his fault. Hey, Zhang beating Parker, then there's no confusion then. I think that's what it was. Zhang beat Joyce, yeah. He then fought Parker, who had just beat Wilder, and that was his big shutout. That was supposed to be his big event. Zhang, Zhang had momentum. Beat Joe Joyce twice. Supposed to beat Joe Parker. He lose to Joe Parker. It just took it all down. And yes, he's had one good win over Wilder now, but we don't know how shot Wilder is. All Zhang's known for now is beating Wilder, who looked shot to bits. The loss to Joe Parker almost extinguished the good Joe Joyce momentum he has. So now he has to go back and get that win back. He knocked him down twice. Zhang needs to knock Joe Parker out. And then we're back to, okay, he's back on. At this point, it's iffy for Zhang. So yeah, these are corny bars though from Eddie Hearn. If we nick the belt, that irritates me as well. I ain't gonna lie. You lost that belt, AJ. You lost that belt to Usyk. You can never. If we fight for the belt, trying to put pressure. Yeah, well, we're only gonna fight Dubois if it's for the belt. You're lucky I ain't in charge. I tell you, forget about the belt indefinitely now, because you talking too much. You trying to talk your way into a belt. AJ ain't fought nothing. Neither's Dubois, I gotta be honest with you. Dubois just lost to dude a year ago. Less than a year ago, Dubois got punched up and quit against Usyk. A man who quit against Usyk a year ago, this isn't 5 years ago or 3 years ago where things may have changed. Yeah, I do think Dubois has changed, but you get the point. It's only been a year. Like, get serious here. A man who made you quit, you can never have his belt. Not getting in the ring with him. That can never happen. Dubois certainly, and AJ, both of them cats. Neither of them men deserve to strip Usyk of one of his belts. You're having a giraffe. Do you know what I mean? That's nuts. That could never happen. Never. And it's frustrating that these dudes, they kind of think it's smart and cute. Yeah, no, whack. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%, no doubt about it. Stop it.